The First Descendant is a new Korean looter shooter developed by Nexon Game and was just released on the 30th of June. I've heard rumors of it being similar to Warframe and Destiny 2, which are both also looter shooters, so I'll be taking a look at The First Descendant and see if you should also play it or skip. So, this is what we're greeted with when opening the game. As soon as we hit the play button, there's a cutscene. For this video, I won't be skipping any cutscenes, so you can watch it if you want to, or you can just skip ahead.
I saw everything. The connection between two worlds. About a century ago, humans were defeated by the Vulgus. Invaders from the other world. Then came the Colossi, who destroyed everything. Humans resisted until they could no longer. Then they found hope. They were gifted the Forgotten Ancestors' power. Finally, they could fight with newfound strength. But another threat had emerged. Karel, the new leader of the Vulgus. His dark ambitions are driving both worlds to the brink of collapse. We must fight back. With the Ancestors' power bestowed upon us. Descendant, can you hear me? I've been waiting for you.
According to the investigative corps, the Ironheart is in the ruins. The assignment is simple. Bunny will collect it, while one of you protects her. So, who is going to take this on?
After that cutscene, we can choose one of the three characters that are presented to us, basically a debuffer, an attacker, and a tank. Of course, I chose the debuffer because
reasons.
We got another cutscene, and after that we can now move. One thing that I noticed was it wasn't running at 60 FPS. Now, I have a RTX 2060 Super, which isn't the most impressive, but the game recommended me medium settings and I was only getting around 40 to 50 FPS. So to boost the performance, I changed it to low settings. It didn't matter too much since this is a looter shooter, and in games like this you probably want to focus more on the gameplay loop rather than graphics. This level acts as a tutorial, so I'll just skip it because it was quite long. And we get another cutscene and then we enter another dimension. This was also a tutorial about using a grappling hook. After coming back to our senses, the level continues and we now unlock all of our abilities. Then we continue for a while and another cutscene plays. You know what, I'm just gonna edit the cutscene since there's way too much.
Holy Jesus! What is that? What the fuck is that?
This eye tracking video that I'm going to watch, not only am I not going to look at anything sexual, I'm going to complete the whole eye tracking challenge without looking at a single butt or a single boob. This eye tracking challenge is going to be the easiest challenge of my life, and I will prove to all the other men in chat that we don't need to look at boobs. We can look at people for who they are. Me, Greek God X, I will represent all men in the chat, and I will not look at a single boob, and I will not look at a single butt in this video. Let's go! Fuck!
was just standing there, menacingly!
You get a tutorial boss fight which we obliterated because it's a goddamn tutorial, and we got transferred to the lobby. There we talked to the Holy Spirit and continued. Of course, we checked the mailbox for some free stuff, but I was kind of disappointed. I talked to this guy who is the leader and we teleported to another place. Another cutscene appears, so...
Only then can I help humanity.
Ah, there you are. I'm Marcus.
After talking to this guy, we finally have our first quest. Basically in this game, you trigger quests by going to this thing and holding the E button. Other players can immediately join the same quest, which will happen later, but for right now, we're going solo. While the gameplay is running in the background, if you don't know what looter shooter is, it's basically kill enemies drop gear, pray to RNG Jesus, it drops good gear, and use that gear to defeat stronger enemies to get stronger gear. And the cycle goes on, simple as that. Just to make this video longer, I'll talk about the missions. There are a lot of missions variety, like eliminating a number of enemies, holding a position, or straight up doing a boss fight. I don't know if the enemy scales with the number of people, but during my time playing there wasn't much different from playing solo or co-op. The game also didn't have a notification about scaling when another player joins, so I guess there's no scaling. Another gameplay loop is that each map is divided into areas, and each area will have a certain number of missions to be completed. After you completed those missions, you will have another mission before you move on to the next area. If you're at the final area, then there's gonna be a longer mission which ends up in a boss fight before you move on to another map. Let's talk about characters, or in this case, descendants. Each character has different skills and also some people might not know attributes, so some characters might be offensive but they have low health like Lepik, or they are defensive but have high health like Ajax. But that doesn't mean you can't solo missions with tanky characters. Even until far in the story, you can still solo the contents with characters like Ajax, since it relies on your skill as a player more than the character's skill. Next, let's talk about the weapons. There are a dozen of weapons put in categories like hand cannons, SMGs, machine guns, assault rifles, launchers, sniper, etc. But they are also categorized by the type of ammo they use. There are 4 different ammos in the game. For convenience sake, let's call them white, green, orange, and purple ammo. Now I don't know what the exact difference other than you should use one type of ammo for your setup, so you could go with white, green, and purple, or orange, green, and purple. This is because your weapons share the same ammo type. If you bring 2 guns that use white ammo, then it feels like you only use 2 guns because again, the ammo is shared. For me, I like to use a white ammo gun, an orange or green, and a purple. Just from my understanding, the white ammo are automatic weapons like SMGs, assault rifle, and machine guns. The green are semi-automatic like rifles, and orange are burst weapon that shoot 3 bullets at a time or a beam weapon, and the purple is your sniper or launcher. As you can see in this mission, I tried to go solo. This was the mission for the final area of this map. I'm just gonna give some commentaries while you see how the longer mission goes. I tried going solo because I thought I could handle it, but Boris was already wrong, which you'll see in the last part of this mission. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention was you can modify your guns with additional stats so you can make it deal more damage or fire faster, which I think it gives each gun more variety. This of course makes it so you can make your own build which suit your playstyle.
This terminal also does not contain the Ancestors' data. However, Descendant, I sense the transmission of the Ancestors' data is happening close by. That is most likely where the enemy command center is located. As the enemy sealed off Kingston's network, transmitting data over a long distance would have been impossible. This means we still have an opportunity to retrieve the Ancestors' data.
Another mode that the game has is Intercept Battle, which is just a glorified term for a giant boss. Yes, in this mode you can go solo or team up with 3 other players to fight against a giant boss, varying to a walking bug to an alien with guns. Each boss has its own different attacks and gimmicks, and they also have weak points, indicated by a blue glowing part if you shoot it. These can also be torn apart when you've damaged it enough. Based on the comments that I read, there is scaling on Intercept Battle, so if you have time circling with randoms, you can try to solo the boss. Although each boss has their own uniqueness to it, they all start with a shield that you need to break before you can deplete its health. So basically it has 2 health bars. On some bosses, they even go to a frenzy state when they are low on health, granting them buffs or making them have new attacks. But if you manage to get past all that, then you are rewarded generously. There is also the RNG system, which you use these amorphous items to try and get a certain loot. This is important since some missions grant you these amorphous items while others will be the one to open it up. Some of the craftable items you can only get through this loop. Speaking of craftable items, you can get new characters by either A, buying it directly from the shop with real money, or grind them through RNG. All of the characters are grindable and none are locked behind a paywall, even the ultimate characters. To craft a character, you need 4 different materials. Usually 3 of them are either craftable or you can get through RNG with the amorphous items, and the last one is usually dropped in a certain mission. Grinding to get a character is just tedious, and you might feel burnt out when doing it. So what I like to do is actually grind for a bit. If I don't see results, then I take a break. So now that I've talked about the game, what do I think about it, and should you play it or not? Well, if you're looking for a new looter shooter game, then this definitely can be a choice alongside other looter shooter games such as Warframe and Destiny 2. Try it for a bit, see if you like the characters and the weapons, the modes, and all of that stuff. For me personally, I played Warframe in the past, but it somehow never clicked. Actually, as of recording this video, I have played more than I expected, reaching just above 20 hours. I personally enjoyed this game. It's new, it has different game modes, and of course, big assets. Would I recommend this game? Absolutely. Whether you're a fan of looter shooter games or have never played one, you should definitely give this a try. And with that being said, thank you for watching the video.